to is probably doing so for his own ulterior motive. So you need to carry your own vision. When my grandfather was king, he had his own vision. I'm king now. I'm not going with his own vision. I'm using his legacy, but I have my own vision for my people. And then I go with my own vision, because only you who has the vision is able to follow it through to the end. So I guess everything is still back to us. It's back to you and I. That's what we're supposed to do.
Anyone else? Dominique, and then Cliff.
Where are you from, first of all? Originally.
Well, my ancestors come from Africa. My first home actually was in North Carolina.
Okay.
But I mainly just want to thank you for coming, Your Majesty, and also like to remind us that the Yoruba culture has been the most enduring of all of the African cultures that has survived in the Western Hemisphere. I've seen elements of in Brazil, in Cuba, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, but the Yoruba influence has been so profound. And so we owe a lot, to the Yoruba people.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And by the way, I was able to meet your first president. Y'all called him Zeke.
Okay.
Over there.
Ezekwe.
Not there, Ezekwe.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the
And a
freedom
few others,
fighters.
yes.
Zeke was one of those who fought for the independence in Nigeria.
Yes.
And they were in their mid-30s. They were in their mid-30s.
Yes.
So it's not really about age. You could be 30, you could be 50, you could be 90. There is no time you cannot seek for your freedom. And there are different ways people can be imprisoned. It's not just when you are taken into the physical prison. If your mind is imprisoned, that's the biggest and most dangerous one.
How large is the area that you are considered to be king of, and how many people?
Well, maybe about 140,000 people, lots of minors, but could be more than that, because a lot of them do not live within the community, like they move in, coming over the weekend, or they work in the urban areas, yes. But Yoruba land is quite vast. Yoruba land is like about almost 45% of the size of Nigeria. And Nigeria is the largest black country in the world. So 1 out of every 5 black people you see in the world is a Nigerian.
Wow.
Yes. 1 out of every 5 people you see anywhere in the world is a Nigerian.
That's right.
And it's the largest black country. It's the biggest economy in Africa too. 170 million people, so it's quite large.
Yes.
But we the Yoruba speak the same language, the 60 million people, and a lot of our people were brought, they took a lot of our people as slaves from Nigeria, from Yoruba land, took them to the Gold Coast in Ghana because there was gold. They built a castle there, and that's where the trade took place. And from there, they shipped the people to all parts of the world. So in our own record, we believe that about 50% of the entire population of Brazil are from our place.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and so like the Caribbeans too.
I met Yoruba in Brazil.
Yes, so a lot. They study Yoruba in university. They practice the Yoruba tradition, the Yoruba religion. Everything is done there, right there. And our religions predates the coming of Christ. 10,000 plus BC. We even had our own system of democracy. This modern day democracy is just a new thing. We had our own system that was there and everybody understood and worked for each other. Most important is that we are each other's brothers' keepers.
Mm-hmm. Your Highness, can you comment on the current political situation in Nigeria? Am I wrong in my understanding that the president has been out of the country for a while? And could you comment on that?
Okay.
I don't want to wear you out, but
no. I'm fine.
I'm curious about the current political situation.
Okay. The president was out for about 2 months in the UK for medical leave, but he's back in the country. And the president is a former military leader who had been in government before. He's an anti-corruption crusader, more like a civil rights activist. Unfortunately, he's way above 70 and not in a particularly good health. But in terms of having good policy, he has good plans for the country. Because the biggest problem we have in Africa is that of corruption. I read a book, How Europe underdeveloped Africa.
yes, oh, yes.
But right now we're in a situation where we can say how Africans underdeveloped Africa themselves. Yes, because the biggest problem in any African country is that of corruption. Officials are stealing. I mean, 2 days ago, they went into the apartment of one official and we discovered 48 million US dollars in cash.
In his house.
In cash. In his house. Works for the Oil Petroleum Corporation in his house. So that's the problem. You know, that's the problem of Africa. You know, so we hope that over time we will overcome this. And we keep, you know, we've been colonized once, but this is what we can refer to as neo-colonialism. You steal money from your people, you bring it to a Swiss bank, you die, your wife, your children don't even know the password, and the money remains there, and then they use it to develop. Who do we blame for that? That's our own fault.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, yes.
Ron.
Greetings. Could you explain to us, in your country, your 150,000 people under your reign, do they pay taxes? And if they pay taxes, do they pay it to you? and the president, does everybody in Nigeria have to pay, like each different group have to pay taxes to the government?
Okay, my size must have deceived you. Nobody pays me any tax. Yes.
So
yes.
we only have, sorry, we only have only one question, please, before we go.
Okay. So
the last
nobody pays me any tax. But like every other country, everybody who is of working age or is doing some business, earning some income, pays tax to the government. The Nigerian government operates the same system of presidential system that you operate in America. We have an elected executive president with a vice president. We have a Senate who are just being overpaid doing nothing. We have the Congress, same way they are being overpaid doing nothing. We have 36 state governors, and then each of the governors also have their own respective commissioners and so on. And we have ministers who you call secretary of this, secretary of state, secretary of that. So it's exactly the same system. But I am not in support of that system because it's a damn too expensive system. It's a very corrupt system. Doesn't really allow people to, you know, people end up being forced to vote for the richest candidate who is able to buy airspace and campaign so much. Not necessarily the best. So I'm not really personally in support of that system because it's just like a bloated system. And I think that's the same thing that you are enjoying. I wouldn't say suffer. I'm being diplomatic. I hope you understand. In America, you know, if you have all the money to buy up the media, you are making noise everywhere, you probably end up in the White House. Just same way with Nigeria. Yes, same way with Nigeria. But what we try to do as kings is the fact that we recognize that these governments are powerful, they are there, but they won't be there forever. At best, the president will spend 8 years. But as king, the king will reign forever. The king is closest to his people, and the welfare of our people is the most important thing to us. So we always strive to fight. We're always fighting with the government official, trying to bring new things to our own community. And the government is always, you know, politicians are liars everywhere. I don't know whether they lie in America. sorry to say, I don't know if there are politicians here, but you are a politician. Okay, all right. Okay, let me put it this way. Most politicians, let me not say what politicians. Most politicians are liars. It's difficult. You know, they make a promise, then they get the position, then they forget you. 1 year to the election again, they come back, they tell you some story, they do that. But as a king, there's no way I'm running to. I'm sitting in the palace, my people are all around me, they keep coming from, it's a 24-hour duty. So I owe it to my people to ensure that their welfare is taken care of. So what I try to do is to balance up what the government is unable to do for my people. To seek for support, to improve the health care, to improve the empowerment for the women, to take care of the children, to ensure they are well developed, so that there is no vacuum. Because if I were to wait for the government, then it will create more problems for my people.
All right.
Lady, a question from a lady.
Well, the king said no.
Yes, yes.
I wonder how does it work with the kings and a politician? Who has the most power, and how do y'all share your power?
Okay, the politicians control the money, no doubt. And whoever has the money has a lot of power. But the power of the king is stronger because there's a lot more. You see, what we've never recognized is the power in people. You may have no dime in your pocket, but if you have the people, There's a saying in our place, if you want to know how strong you are as a general, look back and see how many people you have as your troop. Do you understand? So I look at him as the general, and I look at you as the troop. Somebody else may have ₦1 million and have just 2 people in this hall. So that's something we have failed to recognize. So I would say the king has more power. Also, the politician is only going to be there temporarily. Can't be there forever. But the king is permanently there with his people. And the king is somebody taken from amongst the people. Do you understand the difference? Politician just appears from somewhere, tells some, sorry, politician just appears and then tells a story and then wins an election. But the king is one of your people. So you've been taken from the community. You can't really do anything wrong within the community because you are right in the community. Whatever you do for good or bad will be there for you in record. And it may deny your son or your children access to that kingdom because of what you have done wrong. You understand? So I would say the king has a lot more power. And the king has a lot of spiritual powers. If I were to call people and I say, look, I'm praying for you, I'm definite that is going to come to pass. You understand what I'm saying? But, for politics, it's all about money.
Let us give the king a warm round of applause.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Does the king mind taking a picture with a politician?
I don't mind. It's for your own good, so I don't mind.
Je me sens que vous parlez français, is that right?
No.
English.
I'm Yoruba. No. I don't have French accent at all.
No.
Okay. The politician wants to take the king's blessing.
This is Council President John Williams. This is State
The
Senator.
Queen. The Queen.
State Senator Leslie.
Okay.
He's a candidate for governor.
No, I'm a candidate for king now.
I later for governor, right? To be the king.
Thank you.
Okay.
King, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
You're the first king whose hand I've ever shaken.
And it will be well with you. God will bless you. Okay.